Before I start the video, I want to give a quick disclaimer. What I'm doing right now, I'm going to show you the difference you want to keep an eye out for, since I've seen this mistake a lot. You want to see the difference between square and circle, and I'll demonstrate, the difference between the sounds of it. So as you can see, square is obviously lower sounding than it is circle. As you can see, one is higher pitched than the other, but they both have the same tone and sound. Alright, now onto the sequencer and the settings you're going to want. All these settings you see here, I'd say you just want to keep your attention on height, width, and the tempo. The length is obviously a no-brainer. I mean, that should be obvious, but yeah, you want to just keep those. The rest of the settings, you don't really gotta mess with. But that's all you gotta worry about. As for the grid snap, you want to keep your grid snap at around 8 or 16. I prefer 8 since you're really not going to use one space. You're going to use 4 space, which is a whole block or note. What I'm going to do here is I have this blue note as an example and to help guide when it comes down to spacing. So you're going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're going to want to have 6 blocks or 7 blocks, and then you want to copy and paste it. So you should have this amount. Copy and paste it, and then bring it over. So you're going to want to skip a block. As you can see, skip one block, place it down. Skip a block, place it down. Skip a block, place it down. And then when you do that, every time you see an empty space, that's where the chord belongs. That'll help with chords. So it should look just like that. You can see the blue, and then the purple acts as a space. Alright, now onto the actual song. This is what's the melody. You can see the red notes on screen. Feel free to pause, but I'm just doing a voiceover, so I can't really control anything. The red notes and the blue notes or white notes you see on top of the red notes are exactly the same. You want to copy them. So if one is C, then you copy the other one as C. So in this case, it's DD. Alright, that's how it should sound. Then you want to put one block spacing, C circle, A square sharp, G square. Should sound like this. Then you want to do one space, A square sharp, space, C circle, space, C circle, C circle, D circle, C circle, A square sharp, C circle, and D circle. And it should sound like this. And then one space, A square sharp, G square, A square sharp again, one more space, A square sharp, another space, G square, space, well, this is gonna have sound. So there's a space, D circle, another D circle sharp, D circle, C circle, A square sharp, D circle, C circle, and then this is how it should sound. Space, D circle, G square, space, G square, A square sharp, A. So it should sound like this. A square, D circle, space, D circle, space, A square sharp. So that's the whole melody. And I'm gonna go back to the beginning of the song. And the white notes you see next to the red are exactly the same, as you'll see. Sound exactly the same. Alright, now for the chords. D square sharp, A square sharp, D circle sharp. And this is where the 7 notes come into play. for the example. And then after 7, you place down another chord. So it was F circle, C circle, and F square. Another 7. Then D circle, A square, and D square. Then another 7. Then G square, D circle, and G circle. Another 7. D circle sharp, A square sharp, and D square sharp. Then another 7. F circle, C circle, and F square. Another 7 again. A circle sharp, and then F circle, and then A square sharp. And then you can delete the spacer notes or the blue notes that I put as an example. You start deleting those because those are only to space out the chords, which I already demonstrated. That's it. Enjoy your new song in your creative world, I guess.